Hey guys, Drifter here. I have something of an embarrassing confession to make. After making many videos about never rage quitting and why you shouldn't rage quit and how it's a bad idea and it ruins the game, last night I did very embarrassingly rage quit. I got really pissed at Call of Duty. I screamed, "This is unfucking believable," threw my Astro headsets across the room. I threw my SCUF controller into my TV, both of which were brand new, I just got this week. Ripped my capture card out, shut the computer down, turned the TV off and the Xbox off, and just like, fuck it. Fuck all this bullshit, fuck this stupid game, and I'm going to bed. And today I'm going to make a video about why that happened, and I'm going to try to encourage myself and the rest of you not to let games get to you. I should briefly mention the gameplay. Right now I'm playing with a PM9 extended mags and suppressed running specialist package. I'm also playing with iFly Illini. This is one of the gameplays that we're getting for the dual commentary or for the daily challenges that didn't really quite work out, but it was a good game. But we end up losing, and we lose this game because I play like a douchebag. I play like a non-good team player and just try to go for the Moab with this gun. I actually get very close, like a 17 or 18 spree before I get cut down, probably by something stupid I can't quite remember. And then the next game we play, I'm playing on Black Ops in Nuketown, and we end up losing 200 to 201, extremely close game again. That one we lost legitimately when I was actually trying to win and not playing like a teammate. If you're wondering why I'm posting games where I lose, it's because I feel like a pretty big fucking loser today for rage quitting out of the game, and just kind of because this game in general. Now, the reason this particular game, or playing last night, made me so angry is because of the lag compensation. I played all night, and I was playing with a big group of people. They were mostly, I guess, J-Hub and Vorb and his friends. They're tryhards, they really are. We're a good team, so we get matched up against a lot of other clans and a lot of other good players. There's no dummies to roll over, and I'm definitely down for good competition, but it's usually people using really cheap stuff. Like, they start losing, and they just go to straight shooting RPGs and noob tubes at people, because, fuck it, if they're not going to win, they're just going to troll me all the way down into oblivion. And the lag compensation and the amount of ridiculous things that were happening. I have a better than average internet. Here in the United States, our internet connections aren't generally very good, and I live in Mississippi, which is a pretty crappy place for internet in general, but I'm lucky to have a cable company that provides me a solid, sorry, got a little frog in my throat, a solid 25 megabits down and 2.5 megabits up with a ping of about 20 milliseconds. Well, that's from speedtest.net. And the most frustrating thing about lag compensation in Modern Warfare 3 is that it punishes people that have good internet. In the United States, that's a great internet. You know, really anywhere in the world, that's a good internet. But people that I'm playing with, I'm going to use J-Hub as an example. He has like 0.6 upload and 0.5 download, and his ping's not so hot. He kills people really easily. He has time to react, and he can actually shoot them. Whereas 99% of the games I play, I'm dead before I even see the enemy. The game that you're watching right now is one of the few games where I have a good connection, and generally when I have a good connection, I get a good gameplay. But the lag compensation in this game, I know they removed it for domination, I know they removed it for team deathmatch, but I swear to God, it still feels like it's there, because I'm constantly getting one-shot killed. Like, on my screen, I see somebody, I turn, I look, I shoot at them, I start hosing my gun, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hit markers, and then I hear a little and I fall over dead, headshot, insta-death, you're dead, you're screwed, too bad, Drifter, you suck. And I watch on their screen, I very slowly, like, lumbered over there, I looked at them, and they shot me like 4 times, and then I got one shot off and died. Or the same kind of thing happens, it feels like everybody else is always running focus, because, you know, when I get shot, my screen kicks all fucking over the place, and I can't hit anything. But when I shoot other people, it doesn't seem to bother them at all. It doesn't seem to shake their screen or move how they're shooting. And I realize that's because of lag compensation. They're shooting me, and they're hitting me before my bullets even get to them and load in. And I'm always screwed by this. I'm almost always the host in this game, or I'm almost always on the butt end of the lag compensation, and it's very frustrating. The only time I get good connection in Modern Warfare 3 is when I'm live streaming. Those live streams where I use like 65-70% of my internet just to run the live stream, and I'm playing on like 30-40% of my connection. I have great connection. I have 4 bar then. Any other time I have 2 and 3 bar when I really shouldn't, and it drove me fucking crazy. This was all night last night. Every single time I'm in a gunfight, I can count my hit markers, and I aim fairly well. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, I mean, it probably doesn't seem all that well good aiming because I'm using the PM9 here. It's not really like an accuracy weapon. But other people didn't really get hit markers. They would just like look at me and hip fire once and hit me in the head with like a pistol or something, and I would die instantly, just over and over again. And when I watched their screen, it was always some bizarre set of movements being translated through the lag compensation or the server averaging or something. And I put up with it for about 2 hours, and I was just trying to get a gameplay for you all. The things that I do on a general basis is I load up, like, I have this topic that I want to discuss tomorrow, and that topic was video game violence, which I'm actually going to end up discussing today since it's very relevant to the rage quitting. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I can just load up Modern Warfare 3, I can put on an assault streak, or just run around with some gun, and I'll get a decent gameplay. It won't be that hard. I don't need to go MLG, I don't need to get Moabs, I just need to get something fun. But instead of getting something fun, it's just constantly a little bit of this. What you saw right there was he was looking a little bit, he wasn't really looking at me when the bullets came out and shot me. That happened a lot last night. People shooting bullets out of their butt, people shooting bullets sideways. Absolutely driving me bonkers, and it drives me bonkers because it disallows me competition. I don't get a chance to compete in a gunfight. I can only kill somebody from behind. If I don't sneak up on them and shoot them in the back or when they're not noticing, there's no chance to win a gunfight. I can't show anybody that I aim better than them or that I react better than them or faster because of the lag compensation, and it just drives me crazy. And I did this all night, and then I hit this massive lag spike, and I snuck up on a guy and I was shooting at him. The game just was like, lag loading, and then the guy teleported behind me and knifed me, and that's when I got really mad and just threw my headset. It's like, fuck it, fuck this stupid game, this is the stupid fucking, and just lots of fucks and cursing, and my wife got all concerned, and it just really pissed me off. I know this sounds like a big, annoying kind of rant, and it really is, because I need somewhere to vent, maybe a community that would understand me about the lag compensation, because it drives me fucking crazy. And I'm going to change topics a little bit because it relates to my own feelings and reactions, and that's a research article. It was published in the, Mass Media Communications Journal in 2009. That's part of the things I do in grad schools. I have to read these scholarly type articles and write criticisms of them. And the first one that I got for the year, I was allowed to pick any one I want. I randomly picked one, and it just so happened to be written by the professor who's teaching the class. So I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. I didn't know that before I put the submission. I was like, well, great. I have to criticize my own professor's paper. I really had better get this right and understand what's going on here. I think at this point I've died enough times, and we're going to try and come back and win the game, but it doesn't really work that well. So he did this experiment. It was a really troll-ass experiment. His hypothesis was that violence in video games would cause people to be more hostile, and that frustration in video games would cause people to be more hostile. I believe he predicted that violence would be more than frustration, and that a violent and frustrating game would irritate people the most. So he did some little research. I don't think he's a gamer, and he selected 2 games. That would be Dance Dance Revolution, and he also selected Mortal Kombat, I forget, whatever, 29, Deception, Resurrection. There's always some kind of Mortal Kombat coming out because they're one's violent, one's non-violent, and they have rampable difficulty. So what he did is he researched these people, got them to answer some basic questions about their history and their behavior, and did a trait hostility scale. So he got some understanding of how their propensity for hostility, just naturally, because everybody's different. Some people are hotheads, some people are cold as ice. And he got a measurement for each of them. Then he invited them into a gaming session a couple of days later so that it would be different. And in this gaming session, they had a computer in there that was supposedly going to record their performance. And the people that did the best for the day, the people that performed really, really well, they were going to be getting these $100 gift cards to Walmart or Best Buy or Sam Goody or something like that. And what he do is he's like, okay, you have 5 minutes to learn the game and to practice the game. Made sure that nobody had played these particular games before, and they really didn't. Nice triple grenade there by iFly. And they would get in there and they would practice on easy mode and get a feel for it, and he would explain to us, like, okay, we got it on easy mode, I can do this. And then when he left, he would jack the difficulty up to hard, or like ultra hard, or maximum, or something like that. And they would go through their 10 or 15 minutes of trials. He didn't even record the results of the game. That wasn't important. And then as soon as they were done, they were tested again for hostility. Of course, there were control groups that played on easy. There were control groups for each thing. But at the end of the research, what happened was he found that games that were frustrating made people very, very hostile. Games that were violent made people hostile. And games that were both violent and frustrating very, very greatly increased hostility. And part of my criticism is that I recommended that this be tested online, because in the online arena there's an entirely different dynamic at play. I mean, when you're doing this And that way they're competing for a prize. They want that money. They want to win. And they're competing against a computer. I mean, I know that there's other people and they're theoretically competing against other people and trying to do really well. But at the end of the day, it's like man versus computer. And it's like, how good can you beat up on the computer? Which for an online gamer like me, that doesn't mean much. And for a lot of people, that doesn't mean much. But when you move and change the dynamic to something online where I know I'm playing against a person, I know I just got shot in the back by a really weird and random spawn or somebody running around with assassin, or, you know, somebody shoots me and calls me a faggot or a nigger, or that I need to suck the dick of their gun while they blow my brains out because I'm just terrible, especially when it's some annoying voice. Usually young voices are more annoying, or an accent. French people, I don't know, they just bug me a lot. The dynamic changes because you're being put down by a person and you have no way to respond, no way to vent, no way to reciprocate, and that's generally how I feel when I play Call of Duty, especially when the lag compensation is bad. Like, on my screen, I react super fast and start shooting these people in the face and just hosing them and raping them. On their screen, I'm just this slow idiot. I'm the random green guy walking around the map that you see that doesn't even know how to aim down sights, and I'm dead before I can even react, and it drives me bonkers. It makes me even more mad when when they're talking shit to me. And then you have the whole commentator thing, like, I have to do good, I have to get this gameplay, I need to make this video, because the videos are tied to my income, which, you know, is very good. And it's really frustrating when I have a good topic to talk about. I was going to talk about that research in a much different context, but I couldn't get the gameplay for it. I spent hours just trying to get one decent game, and it was just over and over and over with the lag compensation, and I just snapped. And I snapped because it made me feel slow, it made me feel weak, it made me feel like I was worthless, like I was the shittiest Call of Duty player in the world, and everybody's better than me at this game, and that I just don't have good reaction times, and I'm like a dullard and a dum-dum, and it just sits there. And it, I mean, obviously that's not true, or at least I would hope that's not true. And it's not like a schoolyard bullying where you say it once and somebody flips out, but it's a constant reinforcing kind of effect. Like if you've ever been in a toxic or abusive relationship, my dad, I think, was a really good dad, and he did a lot of things good. But a lot of things that he did really bad, parent-wise, is he was just constantly there to remind me that you're stupid, and that you're worthless, and that you're dumb, and that you're never going to amount to anything. And it's okay if you get C's, and it's okay if you get B's, because you're dumb, and you don't know any better, and you're retarded. And just over and over and over. And I ended up in special education classes. In, I believe, what was it, like 3rd grade, if I'm not mistaken? I was in special ed. Like, I was in this serious business special education with children that were severely mentally handicapped and just were complete non-functioning. I mean, and what was even more frustrating than that is that the professor or the teacher at that particular school was not a U.S. Citizen. She was this Arabic lady, and I'm not trying to say there's anything against Arabic ladies, but she like just got off the airplane, so the English was really thick, and there's a lot of cultural context when you try to teach special education children something. The best example I have is how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm assuming that's not something they have a lot of outside the United States, just because I read Reddit and people were like, peanut butter and jelly, that's weird. And one of her lessons was to have us write this little essay. How do you do this? What are the steps? It's basic education kind of stuff. My C4 to work. I'm forgetting what buttons are what. And, you know, you put jelly on one side, you put peanut butter on the other, you smack them together, and we're done. And in this particular education class, you only had to get like a 30 to pass. And that's what everybody wrote, you know, peanut butter on one side, jelly on the other, you put them together, you're done. She didn't know this. This was part of missing from the cultural context. She wrote, you put peanut butter on, then you put jelly on top of the peanut butter, and then you put the bread on there. And she's like, everybody fails. Everybody fails this. And there's a bunch of special education children here, and they're like, woman, you don't know what you're talking about. And I know I got really off track here, but that's the same kind of thing with this game. That's how it makes me feel. It makes me feel that people that are obviously dumber than me, that I am subservient to them, or people that I'm obviously better than, that I have to bow to them because they have the better internet connection. And it drives me crazy. That same year, I was moved out of special education and into advanced classes because somebody did a reassessment of some kind. I'm not entirely sure. It might have been one of those standardized IQ tests, and they found that I was above 60. And that's exactly how this game, it just drags me down over and over and over again. It makes me feel really bad when I can't compete. Whereas Black Ops didn't really have that as much. I'm not saying Black Ops was lag free. You can watch this video and clearly see right there I got some shotgun rounds out before that guy shot me. But it was never as severe as it was in Modern Warfare 3, or I could tell when I was lagging. The hitboxes were a little bit weird in this game. In Modern Warfare 2 and Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty 3 and World at War, you had this weird stutter step when you were lagging. You would kind of across the map and your guns wouldn't work right. And while that was incredibly annoying, and it did definitely break the flow of the game and the realism of the game, it at least let me know that I was lagging. It let me know that something was wrong with this particular game, that it wasn't just me sucking. Whereas the smoothing effect, you get this in Halo 2. I've been bagging on Modern Warfare 3 a lot, but you can see this in Halo 2 because it has this weird zero ping kind of thing, like it'll load your bullets after you're dead, just kind of depending on the lag or who the host is. And it does a little bit in Halo 3 and Halo Reach as well. It smooths the game out so that you don't notice the lag. Like, nobody really feels like they're lagging. You don't teleport. Your tomahawks don't come out late. Your bullets don't, jam up. And when I say that, like, you ever have play an older game and you'll shoot once and then twice, nothing happens, and all your bullets come out at once. It doesn't do that. It has this very solid, smooth kind of feel to it, which in theory is going to work really, really great. Nobody feels like they're lagging. There's going to be lag, there's going to be differences, but you probably won't notice it unless you're lagging really, really bad. It'll just feel like the guy reacted faster than you, and the guy shot you more, or you missed your shots, or he was running focus and you weren't, or something like that. When you watch the kill cam, if you watch it closely, I don't think enough people actually watch their kill cams in any of these Call of Duty games, you'll see that they actually didn't. It's just that you were, it's like they're time traveling and they're ahead of you and you're behind them, and it's really, really frustrating. I'm going to go back to Halo because the same kind of thing happens there, like sticky grenades that pop out of dead bodies, or regular grenades that pop out of dead bodies, or you see a warthog coming and you jump up and you shoot your rocket and you watch your rocket come out of the end of the barrel and head straight to the warthog, and then you get sniped and you watch your rocket that traveled like 40 feet disappear because the sniper shot you before the rocket came out and you just didn't know it, and it makes you feel really bad. Like, it just drags me down over and over again when it smooths out like that. Like, oh, you're just worse than these other people, and these other people are better than you. I'm kind of harping on that because I burned through all of my topics before the time ran out, and I know I'm being very, very repetitive, but I'm just trying to really emphasize that. And the only way that I really am able to compete in a lag smoothing game or a lag compensation game is kind of what I'm doing right now in Black Ops. I know that I can't win a gunfight. I can't rush. I can't compete. It's impossible. Only people with, I would guess, lesser internet connections than me can do that. So my only option left is to sit back and camp, to get a rifle and hold off in the back of the map and maybe try to defend an objective or plant some C4 or do something annoying like that. And it's really just not fair. I'm not the only commentator that has this problem. In my last big lag compensation rant, I mentioned several other commentators. You can mention them too. Pretty much anybody that has Verizon Fios or really good internet is going to experience this. It's just brutal on the host. I'm probably going to move back to playing some Call of Duty Black Ops, because while there is lag in this, it doesn't bother me as much. I don't think I'm going to be playing Halo anytime soon. Maybe more Battlefield, maybe more DayZ, but I've got to give MW3 a rest because it's a constant frustration. It's bad on my health, it's bad on my mind, it's bad on everything, because it just makes me feel bad at the end of the day. And video games are supposed to be fun, and they're supposed to be, that was the big thing that a lot of people talked about in the other Rage Quit video is, if the game isn't fun, I'm not going to play it, and my answer to that was always, if the game's not fun, it's because you're not winning. And that's true, a lot of people only have fun when they're winning because they're spoiled. And I really don't mind losing. Losing is okay, because if you don't lose, then you never really win. If there's not good, then there's not really bad. Or sorry, if there's not bad, then there's not really anything that's good. But I do understand people that always lose, and they always lose because of things that they shouldn't, because that's the reason that people don't play DayZ as much anymore, is because the game is so buggy and so broken and so laggy. It's not fun to survive. It's not fun to kill zombies. It's not fun to really do anything because the game's just going to get updated and the guns are going to break and something's going to screw up. So everybody just heads to Cherno and Electro and kills each other, and it turns into a PvP game with slightly annoying zombies. When you build a game that doesn't function properly, especially a big, popular one like this, people tend to play it differently, and they ask you, why would you play it at all? Like, that's the big question. Like, if you hate these games, why would you play it all? And that's because it's the only game in town. The Call of Duty community is huge. Right now, it's probably the biggest gaming community outside of World of Warcraft, or maybe Counter-Strike. I'm pretty sure Counter-Strike's holding strong, but it's a really big thing. On consoles, Call of Duty really dominates. Not as many people play Battlefield or Halo or really anything else, so this is the game where all of your friends are playing. I know tons and tons of people that don't even like Call of Duty games, but they just play them because their friends are there. And that's a perfectly valid reason. Nobody likes to play, oh my god, John, if we play with him, he's just going to bitch about Call of Duty again. Or David, no, I don't want to get Spec Ops The Line or whatever this other random game is. Because Call of Duty is what we all play, and the 7 of us don't want to buy a new game just to suit your mood. So whoever says that will end up playing Call of Duty. Look at this guy just right in my front of my face. I'll give him a dual Scorpion hose down. So, with that being said, I think I'm putting away Modern Warfare 3 for good. I was really, really angry about it with the whole patch debacle, but now it's gotten to where it's genuinely unhealthy when I'm smashing very expensive electronics that I'm supposed to be reviewing and just not having a good time. And if you can't enjoy what you're doing, then you're obviously doing it wrong. And that's the same thing with this commentary here, because that happens when you mix a hobby with a job. This started off as a hobby. I'm always probably going to be a gamer. I know some commentators that actually hate gaming now, but they'd never admit that to you because they always want people to be under the illusion that they love gaming. And I still like gaming. Gaming is fun. Gaming is a hobby. But at the same time, now that you're running, or that I'm running a full-time YouTube channel, it's also part of a job because I want to make videos that are good. I want to entertain people. I want to get big views and make that YouTube money, and you can't do that with crap gameplay. And you start mixing in all these other pressures and it becomes a big grind and it's no longer fun. And the thing that I've found over and over and over again constantly, the thing that I tell everybody when they recommend, like, how do I make good videos? Do I just post these huge scores? I'm like, no. You want to make videos that you enjoy. You want to play games that you have fun with, and you want to speak from your heart, but moderate with the head. Because obviously if you just get raw emotion, people say crazy, crazy shit. And that's kind of where I am right now. The Modern Warfare scene is just not fun anymore. Every time I get on, I have this idea that I'm just going to load in and play a couple of games and do okay. And every night, it's like 3 hours later, I'm lagging all over the screen, getting more and more frustrated with it. It's just not fun anymore. So I have to put it away. I have to do something different. And I know a lot of you are subscribed for Modern Warfare and for Call of Duty and for really many other things. But I can't be the only one that's alone here. I can't be the only person here that hasn't just sat down and like, man, fuck this laggy-ass game. Like, man, I really want to play something different. I don't want this to be the only game in town. I'm going to make my own new game in this town. I'm going to do something different. I have no idea how that guy just survived all those shotgun shells. And that's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm not entirely sure exactly what game I'm going to pick up yet. Maybe Battlefield. I've kind of fallen away from Battlefield over time. I'm not really feeling as much as I was back in the day, but maybe I'll give it another go. Maybe Team Fortress. If any of you have any great recommendations of something that can keep me busy for a month until Black Ops 2 comes out, I'd appreciate it. And by the way, Black Ops 2 actually looks quite good. I am kind of excited about that, but I'm also a little bit scared. If they use the same sort of networking code that we have here in regular Black Ops and Black Ops 1, everything will be fine. Of course it'll lag and the hitboxes will be wonky, but that's okay. I can live with that. If they adapt the code for Modern Warfare 3 and use that networking code, then oh my god, I might have to take a whole lot of Valium every single time I load into the game. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this commentary. I hope you enjoyed my nagging and my rants, and I hope I made a little bit of sense today. And that's all I've got to say. Drifter out.